Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Lori Jean Bolger. Lori Jean Bolger was born on April 23, 1960. Easter Sunday was on April 17th that year, so Lori came into the world with spring flowers and blossoming trees. Her mother was Jeanette E. Dumoulin Bolger, later Collins, and James Paul Bolger. Terrence, Lawrence, and Tina were her siblings. Lori was the youngest. On the 13th of June in 1976, Lori's father passed away after a long illness. Lori had been taking a summer course for driver's education. She was making up work because she had missed several classes during the regular school year because she, quite understandably, wanted to be by her father's side as much as possible before he passed away. She had the opportunity to retake those classes in order to get her driver's license. So on Tuesday, June 22nd, she was dropped off at Larkin High School by her older sister. After class, she was last seen hitchhiking for a ride home. She was planning to go straight home and then meet friends at a local quarry to swim that afternoon. Lori Jean Bolger didn't make it home or to the quarry to swim. Lori was found the next day near the Elgin Township Estates sewage treatment plant near Randall and Hops Roads in South Elgin. At that time, the plant was surrounded by cornfields and was in an isolated area. She had been sexually assaulted and beaten severely about the head. This severe head trauma caused her death. Lori's family buried her next to her father. One suspect that I think police should consider, and they probably already are, is Bruce Everett Lindahl. He was a serial killer active in the area at that time. In January of 1976, just like 5 months earlier, he murdered Pamela Maurer in Lisle, Illinois. He abducted, assaulted, and murdered her one evening and left her body by the side of the road. He strangled Pamela Maurer, but he also killed other victims in other ways. So just because Pamela was strangled and Lori was bludgeoned to death doesn't mean they can't have the same killer. Bruce Lindahl died in 1981 in the act of killing another victim. This victim was male, and his name was Charles Huber. Bruce Lindahl was straddling this victim and stabbing him repeatedly. The victim was fighting back, struggling, and caused Bruce to stab himself in the thigh and cut his femoral artery. And Lindahl then died from blood loss on top of the victim who also died from blood loss. Bruce Lindahl is suspected in many other murders in Illinois. He was very active, very well known to police because people had reported him for assault. Women had reported him for rape, and he was friends with some police officers. So they always said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Bruce. He's such a nice guy. We play racquetball together." Don't even think about that. But yeah, I would definitely look at Bruce Everett Lindahl for the murder of Lori Bolger in Elgin, Illinois. That 1976 Pamela Maurer murder was in Lisle, Illinois, and it's very close. Bruce Lindahl lived around that area. He's known to have lived in Aurora, Illinois, which is also very close to Lisle and Elgin. But again, there are so many other killers in the 1970s in the Midwest. This could just be someone who saw a young girl and picked her up as she was hitching a ride. That perpetrator decided to sexually assault her and didn't want her to be able to tell who had sexually assaulted her. Hopefully, there is evidence in this case that was preserved. Hopefully, testing can take place soon and Lori's family will finally have answers. I hope investigators take a look at Bruce Lindahl. I will be submitting a tip to investigators in Lori Bolger's case. More than likely, they're already considering Lindahl. Lori Jean Bolger was just a girl. She was going through a terribly sad and traumatic time in life with the loss of her father. She was still trying to do her best in school by finishing the classes she had missed. She was still trying to enjoy life and planned to ease her grief that day by spending some time swimming with her friends. She hoped to get her driver's license and probably hoped to get a job. She had hopes and dreams that she never got to realize. Rest in peace, Lori. I will post a link to the proper authorities to submit tips to if there's something that you know about this. Maybe you saw something that day that didn't seem terribly nefarious at the time, but does now that you're thinking back on it. Maybe you've heard something over the years about Lori's case. Maybe it's not Bruce Everett Lindahl. Maybe it's somebody that she knew or somebody that lived in that town. Thank you so much, everyone, for subscribing to this channel, Storytimer at Large. It's getting a little bit bigger every week. And that means that more people will have their eyes on these unsolved cases. And perhaps more tips can come in. Perhaps we can solve a case. And then just, more remembrance of the victims. 1976 was a long time ago. And the people that remember Lori are older now, and family members are older now, and their ability to do much is dwindling, and their time on this earth is dwindling, and Lori's case still needs to be solved, though. Even if there won't be anybody left at some point who remembered Lori in life, we still need to remember her. I hope you have a good day today. I hope you are kind to someone and someone else is kind to you.